Speaker. Please be seated. Hope you enjoyed your lunch. Order. Order. The Youth Parliament will consider the fourth motion of the day relating to child poverty as printed on the order paper. To move the motion, I call Mr. Mu-Hamid Pathan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to start off by thanking you for this tremendous opportunity for us to speak at what is known as the motherland of all democracies. At the age of 5 in 1997, I saw a dream to speak from this very box, and never in my wildest dream did I ever think it'd come true so fast. I'd also like to thank my constituents, being this is my last time speaking on behalf of the Youth Parliament, my constituents of Leicester South, the Leicester Youth Service, who I could take individual names of, but it'd take my all allocated speech time. Especially my region of East Midlands, and a very few special people, especially my mother and young sister, who have always supported me, the Deputy City Mayor, Councillor Rory Palmer, for his kind messages today morning, and my local MP, Mr. John Ashworth. Also my mentors, Mr. John Coster, Community Media Champion for Leicester, and Tina Barton, who has worked with many young people in Leicester raising their aspirations. And also Mr. Paul Bosca, who's been my inspiration, and Mr. James Cathcart, who I like very dearly. And Mr. Speaker, I mentioned this today because it links in very well with what I'm here to debate today about. Child poverty is one of the biggest issues in our country, yet it goes unnoticed. With over a third of our young people, our children, that is equivalent to nearly 4 million children living in poverty. This is atrocious. We are doing a disservice to our futures, our children, our young people. And it is time we make sure Britain's future is bright. So if you believe in a brighter future for Britain, if you value a brighter future for Britain, you should vote for this motion. Life expectancy is also one of the biggest issues which child poverty plays a crucial factor in. When we look at recent statistics, a child born in Kensington, Chelsea, has the highest life expectancy in Britain, as compared to Glasgow, where some of my few honourable friends are from, has the lowest life expectancy rates in any comparable developed nation. So if you believe in Britain, and I do, you must believe in a Britain for all our people, not just the privileged few at the top of society. So if you believe in better life chances for our people, you should vote for it. And look what we've already achieved in some of our local authorities. In Leicester, the Deputy City Mayor has set up a commission to tackle child poverty, consisting of councillors, academics and members of Parliament, to set realistic targets for Leicester and tackle these issues by 2014 before the end of their term in office. It is something which every local authority in Britain can adapt and replicate for their young people. And when you look at the county in Leicestershire, young people did a peer-led research task into child poverty, which had its findings incorporated into Leicestershire County Council's family poverty strategy. This is what we can do. This is what each local authority across Britain can do to tackle this. And this links into aspiration and education. The chances are, if you're born in a deprived area, in a deprived family, you may not get a higher level of education due to lack of resources, and it's a waste of talent. So when the former Prime Minister Tony Blair said his 3 priorities for Britain were education, 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 UK Youth Parliament, I tell you today, our 3 main priorities for our young people, our constituents, is aspiration, aspiration, aspiration. And Mr. Speaker, aspiration is a big word, but what does it really mean? It's the hope and ambition that you are able to progress and achieve, regardless of your background. It's the belief that everyone has an equal chance in life and it's an equal playing field for everyone. When we look at youth unemployment, which is at its highest rate in recent years, in Northern Ireland, 50% of young adults in one Enniskillen ward in Fermanagh are living in poverty. This must change if we want a better future for Britain. My fellow MYP here today, Mr. Joseph Hyatt, is running a very successful campaign to tackle youth unemployment. So if you value Britain's three biggest priorities, education, aspiration, and employment, you should vote for it today. And social mobility, Mr. Speaker, it's also suffering at the hands of this injustice. Apart from a few individuals, inspirational ones, who have gone on to achieve fantastic things, it is very hard for young people to be born and raised in poverty to progress onto some of the highest jobs in the public and private sector. So if you believe in social mobility, you should vote for this. And you may say, why choose child poverty over transport? Why choose it over environment, bullying, or tuition fees? You choose this because this is the foundation for all these topics. You choose this because yet another generation are entering a cycle of poverty, a very vicious cycle. Unemployment and lack of opportunities is what waits for them at the end of this cycle. You choose this because the people in power can do and should do more to help end child poverty. And UKYP itself is a powerhouse of aspiration. It's inspired me to run for the elected mayor of Leicester at the age of 18, making me the youngest candidate in Britain to do so. And I believe if I can do it, every single one of you can do it too. Looking at child poverty rates in Britain reminds me of a film, Back to the Future. It starred a character called Marty McFly, who was trapped in the 1950s. Let's not leave our children, our futures, our constituents, and our young people back in the past. Let's make this change today. Economic stability for our hard-working families must be the basis of a more flexible and progressive future for Britain. It is our values as a country, as a youth parliament, and our instincts as siblings, neighbours, and representatives that makes us insist that no child in our country should be left behind. So when politicians talk about the promise of Britain, this is the promise of Britain. When they say change we can believe in, this is the change we can believe in. When they say, let's build a fairer Britain for all, these are the first steps towards building it. This is the foundation for a fairer Britain. I can see some faces around here thinking he's using slogans from all three major Westminster parties. These were the promises of all the three parties in Westminster at the last election. So if you believe in a notion of progress for Britain, you should vote for this today. And I'm still an optimist. I believe in the power of politics to change things. So with all the cynicism and personality rubbish, you can come to a place like this and reflect how much things have changed in your local authorities, in your cities. And it changed because of a political decision in your local authority. It hadn't changed before you were in office, and it wouldn't have had we not been in office. So I think today is a day to be proud of the achievements we have done in every single of our local authorities. A mandate for change. That is all I ask. UK Youth Parliament, 4th of November 2011. Every single child, every young person living in your constituency is calling out to you today, asking you if you'll hear their concerns, asking you if you help them achieve a better future. We must seek solutions that benefit the many and not just the few.
Okay. Mu-Hamid, that's a splendid speech, which I think you were about to conclude, were you not? Extremely grateful to you.
This vote is not over until it's over, and I want every bit of support we can have today, because this is a fight we have to win. There is a choice between poverty, whether you end it or you ignore it. And it's not a choice of a political opinion, it's a choice of futures. And I tell you this, never ever let child poverty back to do the damage it has done to our society over the years. So tomorrow when you go home, you can wake up to another 5 or so years with this issue being brushed under the carpet, with millions of child's lives chances being ending in poverty. Or you can elect a campaign with new hope, fresh ideas and vision for the good and better of Britain. And I can see Antonia's face. And I can see the expression on Antonia's face that I've gone over time, so I must end here. But it's because I'm passionate about this issue, just as much as you all are passionate about change. And we get this right, and things can only get better for Britain. Thank you
very much indeed. Mu-Hamid, thank you very much for that speech. To oppose the motion, I call Ms. Jess